The Verge. Facebook stored millions of Instagram passwords in plain text. This is an issue that has already been widely reported, but we want to be clear that we simply learned there were more passwords stored in this way. A Facebook spokesperson said in a statement. Sorry, something got in front of my eyes. The security lapse was first reported last month, but at this time, Facebook said it only happened to tens of thousands of Instagram users, whereas the number is now being revised to millions.
Oh my gosh.
The issue also affected hundreds of millions of Facebook Lite users and tens of millions of other Facebook users. More Facebook stuff.
So how can we minimize the damage?
Change your password.
Change your password.
Stop using Facebook.
Use a password manager.
Use a password manager. I'm going to do a little piece on that in a few episodes, maybe next episode. I don't know. There are a few password managers. Just look it up, password managers. We use something called KeyPass. It's open source. It's
it might
free.
Be good to do a tutorial over that.
Yeah, people like LastPass, though, but it's a web-based solution, and it's not as secure. Well, it's been compromised before. But a lot of people like it, and they trust it. So that's what it is. Ars Technica and a new gaffe. Facebook improperly collects email contacts for 1.5 million. Facebook said it collected the stored email address list of as many as 1.5 million users without permission. Facebook said the email contact collection was a result of a highly flawed verification technique that instructed some users to supply the password for the email address associated with their account if they wanted to continue using Facebook.
Yeah.
More. And rounding off the Facebook news. CNET, Facebook's privacy mishaps. Zuckerberg could be held accountable, report says. The Federal Trade Commission is looking into how to hold Zuckerberg accountable for Facebook's privacy mishaps. The Washington Post reported, citing two people familiar with the matter. Two people familiar with the matter. That includes examining Zuckerberg's past remarks about privacy. The FTC started investigating Facebook last year after revelations surfaced that UK political consultancy Cambridge Analytica harvested the data of up to 87 million Facebook users without their permission. In response to questions about the Post's report, a Facebook spokesperson said only the company hopes to reach an appropriate and fair resolution with the FTC. The agency declined to comment.
Yeah, so the article did make comparisons to, I guess, when Google was forced to pay $22.5 million to the FTC.
Yep.
Since it misrepresented users about the privacy settings. I guess Google said they will not place tracking cookies or serve targeted ads, and they thus violated that.
Yep.
So then they compared this as well, and you can pull up my screen for a second. So this is back in 2011, where Facebook settles FTC charges that it deceived consumers by failing to keep privacy promises. And among some of those listed, it's talking about that third-party apps would only have access to user information that they needed to operate, that it would not share their personal information with advertisers. It did. So this was back in 2011.
Still doing that? Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, because we've been reporting how it's still doing that.
Yes.
And then also, apparently Facebook claimed that when users deactivated or deleted their account, photos or videos would be inaccessible. But of course, Facebook still has access. So this is... It's just a continuation.
We probably have to stop talking about Facebook on the show, because it just keeps happening over and over again.
I know. We keep reporting more and more things, but
the same thing. Don't trust Facebook. Don't trust Facebook. Don't trust Facebook. Facebook's incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. Facebook did this. They leaked this. They did this. They did that.
We'll see if the FTC makes them pay and how much.
We'll see. Engadget, mental health apps are sharing data without proper disclosure.
Surprise.
A study of 36 mental health apps, not named in the public release, has revealed that 29 of them were sharing data for advertising or analytics to Facebook or Google, but many of them weren't disclosing that to users. Only 6 out of the 12 Facebook-linked apps told users what was happening, while 12 of the 28 Google-linked apps did the same. Out of the entire bunch, just 25 apps had policies detailing how they use data in any form, while 16 described secondary uses. A handful of these apps, which revolved around issues like depression or quitting smoking, shared particularly sensitive data like health diaries and voluntary substance use reports. As the University of Toronto's Quinn Grundy, not involved in this study, told The Verge, this info could give outsiders a picture of your mental health that you might not want to share. You might see ads for health consultations or even addictive substances.
Yes. I thought this was also kind of deceptive because it notes that many of these apps label themselves as wellness tools, so therefore they don't have to protect your data under HIPAA. So that's how they skirt around this law. So do not think that they are bound by that. They are not. They do not have to obey
People
HIPAA.
always throw the HIPAA thing at me, and I say, I don't trust anybody.
Yeah, well,
I don't even trust HIPAA.
That's another issue entirely.
But that's good. That's
I'm
good.
just saying that's not covered.
Because HIPAA is no joke.
Yeah.
But still. CNET. Patients' names, treatments leak among millions of rehab records. Speaking of HIPAA, an independent researcher named Justin Payne revealed Friday that records for potentially tens of thousands of patients seeking treatment at several addiction rehabilitation centers were exposed in an unsecured online database. The 4.91 million documents included patients' names and details of treatments they received. Each patient had multiple records in the database, and Payne estimates that the records may cover about 145,000 patients. Payne said he could find further identifying information like patient's age, birth date, address, and family members just by searching their name and probable location.
Well, this is why you just finished saying you don't trust HIPAA, because this should have been protected under HIPAA, but improper record keeping.
Yep.
And then what was worse is how slow they responded or didn't respond.
Forbes. Best Buy continues to bet on digital health with new TytoHome deal. Best Buy is selling the $299 TytoHome kit on its website and some of its stores initially before a bigger rollout later on. The device kit that allows consumers to perform medical tests on areas including heart, lungs, throat, and ears, and connect with physicians remotely, diagnose symptoms. At most, each TytoHome visit costs just $59, potentially even less depending on the visit and or the user's insurance plan. Interesting. Selling TytoHome could play well with Best Buy's growing service offering. Best Buy last year introduced its $199 annual total tech support membership to provide tech support online, in-store, or via phone. Best Buy is trying to be relevant again. And we have a video on this TytoHome thing. Let's check it out.
I've been waiting for this video.
We created Tyto, your on-demand medical exam that connects you with your doctor anytime, anywhere. With Tyto, your doctor can examine you and your family from home to diagnose and treat many of the most common conditions, such as ear infections, colds, sore throats, fever, cough, congestion, and rashes. It includes an app for communicating with your doctor and the Tyto device for conducting exams. The device has an easy-to-use touchscreen that guides you through the examination process, and special adapters for examining the heart, lungs, ears, throat, skin, and taking body temperature.
Pretty cool looking device. Pretty cool technology. I have a follow-up.
Let's see how it works. Michael's woken up with dizziness, a cough, and a fever. His mother, Caroline, requests a live examination with a physician. Dr. Johnson is on call and begins the consult. The doctor can see and talk with Caroline and Michael and guides them through the specific exams she'd like to perform. In this case, she examines his ears, throat, and heart. Results appear instantly on the doctor's screen, so Dr. Johnson can listen to and see the exam results in real time. Alternatively, Michael's mom can use Tyto to capture and send exam data to her doctor prior to the consult using Tyto's guidance technology that ensures both accuracy and ease of use. Having diagnosed an ear infection, the doctor submits Michael's prescription to the pharmacy for pickup.
And then I cut out the rest about Michael being happy and healthy and whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it has really promising studies.
Yes, it's actually very accurate. Your question, you want to question a device that's $300 that can do all that.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
The only thing I'm a little suspicious of is, some of the studies are funded by Tyto.
Mm.
But, I mean, it seems like it's performing really well.
Yeah.
So.
And it's probably the future.
Yeah.
It is. But going back to security and all that, we just had Facebook and all these data so how are they going to protect your information?
That's always a issue. And of course, Tyto needs to follow HIPAA because they're transmitting all this data, sensitive data between patient and doctor. And they do have encryption. But again, seems like everyone is always susceptible. So
Yep. The Verge. U.S. facial recognition will cover 97% of departing airline passengers within 4 years. The Department of Homeland Security says it expects to use facial recognition technology on 97% of departing passengers within the next 4 years. The system involves photographing passengers before they board their flight and first started rolling out in 2017. The facial recognition system works by photographing passengers at their departure gate. It then cross-references this photograph against a library populated with images from visa and passport applications, as well as those taken by border agents with foreigners when foreigners enter the country. Since the introduction of the current system, facial recognition identified 7,000 passengers who overstayed their visas on the 15,000 flights tracked. Critics argue that the buildup of a database of millions of people's photographs is a threat to civil liberties. Once you have the database, it would be easy to share with other agencies, effectively turning into a search tool for law enforcement. 100% accurate.
So again, this is a reoccurring theme of what's going to happen to this data, who's in control of the data. And we've already talked about how law enforcement is using Google's location services to track criminals potentially. So I just worry about where this ends, where you have this state with cameras everywhere. We've talked about how Ring cameras are everywhere.
Yeah.
How everybody's watching.
They are.
They're already building our facial profiles from Facebook, and they're getting very good at it.
Yep. Facebook automatically tags people now, or has been doing that for years.
Yeah.
All these services automatically tag your friends. The facial recognition's great.
Well, great in how accurate
It works very well.
Yeah.
But it's not good. It's true. It's not good.
Yeah.
Because
it's just
everyone's being tracked 24/7.
I just don't want it to end in a police state.
That's true. RT. NASA is concerned over 5G potentially setting back weather forecast accuracy 50 years.
Sure. 5G might provide better cell phone coverage, but to set it up, the Federal Communications Commission wants to auction off the bandwidth used by meteorologists to predict the weather. And that, NASA warns, could knock forecasting accuracy all the way back to 1970.
The current Federal Communications Commission proposal would have a significant negative impact on the transmission of critical Earth science data.
The problem has to do with a special radio frequency. Sensors that detect weather patterns operate on the same wavelength that 5G is set to use. Now, these sensors are vital for quickly informing the public of natural disasters. Without them, it would have been impossible to predict Hurricane Sandy's trajectory in 2012. And meteorologists are worried because a new 5G network could drown out that information.
People aren't talking about this too much.
Yeah.
5G can hurt water vapor data or measurements.
Yes.
Yes. That's insane. Here's a researcher talking about it.
This is a very difficult thing because a lot of the radio frequencies that are used to sense the atmosphere to get observations about the weather are very close to areas where 5G rollout will occur. And in fact, we do know that many of the weather observations that we collect from space do meaningfully impact estimates of the track and intensity of developing storms over the ocean. This is not only an issue for the United States, it is an issue for the entire world.
Yes.
Jeez.
And then FCC wipes their hands.
The FCC wiped their hands clean of scientists' concerns. They said a quick rubber stamp from the State Department was good enough for them. It's no wonder, though.
The Federal Communications Commission will move forward as planned so that our nation can win the race to 5G and the American people can quickly enjoy the benefits of the next generation of wireless connectivity.
Donald Trump...
Wait. What are the benefits again of this 5G that we have to have it now?
Nothing.
Over the weather data?
Going back to the FCC really quick on this issue. The FCC auction of licenses for upper microwave flexible use services UMFUS, which offers almost 3,000 licenses in the 24 gigahertz band, began on March 14, 2019, despite a letter from NASA Administrator Jim Burdenstein, Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross requesting that it be delayed. FCC Chairman Ajit Pai, I would say his name, rejected that request, stating that there was an absence of any technical basis for this objection. So
What?
NASA administrator and Secretary of Commerce both wrote a letter saying we might want to scale this back a little bit and think. And
Yeah.
no, FCC said no. Screw you guys. All right. Headlines. Washington Post. Critical weather data threatened by FCC spectrum proposal. Commerce Department and NASA say the Weather Network 5G cell service may come at a price of weather safety in the U.S. Hackaday, oddly enough. How 5G is likely to put weather forecasting at risk. Very good write-up. Highly recommend you check it out. At the 2019 annual meeting of the American Meteorological Society, Siddharth Misra, a researcher engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, presented data showing how commercial enterprises can have unintended consequences on the scientific community. Between 2004 and 2007, satellite-based microwave radio meters detected an increase in noise in a curious arc across the top of the United States. A similar signal was detected by another satellite, with the addition of huge signals being returned from the waters off each coast and the Great Lakes. The signals turned out to be reflections from the geosynchronous direct TV satellites bouncing off the surface and swamping the water vapor signals out. Reflections from direct TV or DTV satellites can effectively blind microwave radio meters.
Yeah, scroll down and show that graph so
Yes.
everyone can see what they're talking about. There we go. So there's 2004, and then look at compared to 2009, and you can kind of see that arc that they were talking about.
It's not good,
Yeah.
but we're not. But no, it's cool. Let's just keep pushing for 5G.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about the Washington Post article is it actually didn't have 5G in the headline, but I will go to it. But then if you go right here,
That was a very good
it's covered by
observation.
commercial wireless for the next generation 5G networks. Why didn't they put the 5G part in the headline? Oh, I know why. Because you can't be against the 5G, my friends. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
A lot of people are...
Well, didn't one of those articles say it was all about the money since they've already invested $2 billion into 5G?
Everyone's investing.
So
the
now
money's there.
they can't back
Yeah,
out.
now you can't back down.
But
That's exactly
this also
correct.
goes back to my other issue is people, they try to say, oh, yeah, we're pro-science. And then the scientists,
the
NASA
scientists are coming
science-
out and saying, whoa, hey, you're hurting our science.
Yeah.
No. 5G's better science, dude. 5G is gonna cure everything. No
Yes.
problem. We don't need your data. If we have 5G, baby, we got 5G. That's all that matters.
And what people also aren't talking about is how this might affect predicting our future climate.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's trying to study global warming.
Mm-hmm. Well, with
And-
5G, it's going to really screw it up.
Oh, yeah. You really won't be able to study it because one of the problems with trying to predict the future is trying to account for this water vapor.
Mhm.
And that's really a big issue because clouds really change our climate.
It's a
and if we
big
have-
factor if we don't have data.
Yeah. If you have less data now.
Thank you so much for watching. For more content like this, please check out our podcast over at healthytalkshow.com/subscribe. We're live Mondays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over at healthytalkshow.com/live. Love and light.